With current pound-for-pound king Kamaru Usman sitting atop the division's throne, you would assume it would be difficult to find worthy title challengers at 170 pounds. That's not the case when it comes to welterweight, where a slew of lethal contenders are arriving to make their dreams come true against an octagon nightmare. This is the state of the welterweight division.
And still the best welterweight in the world.
Kamaru Usman sailed into his third year as welterweight king off the back of a dominant 2021, in which he settled scores and staked his claim as the best fighter in the world in emphatic fashion.
Kamaru Usman with a huge shot! Still undisputed!
Knockout wins over Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal, capped with a second win over Colby Covington, earned the Nigerian Nightmare a well-earned rest in the first half of 2022. And now that the champ is healthy, he's not just looking to defend his belt for a fifth time at UFC 278, but he has also teased the idea of fighting in the light heavyweight division as well. Although that task seems mighty, it speaks to his confidence level at the moment, which is crucial as he nears a rematch with the man he has called his toughest opponent to date. Birmingham's Rocky has long held the Dark Horse Championship belt, not just in the welterweight division, but the UFC as a whole. Unbeaten since losing to Usman in December 2015, Edwards has taken the long, hard, often unlucky route to his first title shot. After a dismal year of health in 2020, Edwards returned with an anticlimactic no contest against Balaal Muhammad, before battering Nate Diaz for the better part of their 5-rounder at UFC 263. The run of form finally has Edwards in a position he has long believed was his, and he is absolutely determined to become England's second ever UFC champion. UFC's Chaos bounced back from losing his second title bid and settled a bitter score in 2022 with a dominant victory over Jorge Masvidal at UFC 272. Now, as has become custom for Colby Covington, it seems he is waiting to find his quickest route back for a third crack at the belt. If Edwards gets past Usman, then he'll have one of the stronger bids for a shot. However, if Usman holds serve, Covington will likely need to fight a top 5 rival. And as it stands, there isn't anyone in the division's title picture with whom he has any serious animosity.
I just took care of Miami street trash. Now it's time to take care of Louisiana swamp trash. Where are you at, Dustin Poirier, you
Covington seemed keen to fight lightweight contender Dustin Poirier, but that seems unlikely as of right now. But whomever Covington fights is sure to have a tall task against presumably the second best welterweight in the world right now. Perhaps the most intriguing spectre on the entire roster, Khamzat Chimaev became a made man after beating Gilbert Burns in an early entrant for the best fight of 2022. The 28-year-old marauder now seemingly has a world of options. Although he is focused on making headway in the welterweight division, he remains adamant about bouncing between 170 and 185 pounds. He is a fascinating matchup for anyone inside the top 5 and mandatory viewing for anyone who calls themselves a fight fan. His booking against Nate Diaz in the main event at UFC 279 puts him in the brightest spotlight yet, and how he handles that pressure will provide keen insights on the tantalising enigma that is Chechnya's balls. Chimaev's dance partner Gilbert Burns was given well-deserved respect for risking his top spot and giving an unknown quantity their shot. But he was still on the losing end for a second time in 3 fights. Durinho remains close to a second title shot, however, if he can put together a couple of big wins. He has consistently campaigned to fight Jorge Masvidal, whose name still holds plenty of juice despite the struggles of the past few years. If that fight doesn't happen, Burns has shown an eager willingness to take on any challenges presented. So while it's harder to imagine him risking his top 5 spot in the near future, it also wouldn't betray his character to welcome hopeful contenders like Sean Brady or Khamzat Rakhmanov to the doorstep of the division's elite.
Remember the name Muhammad!
One of the universal attributes to elite athletes is consistency. and Balaal Muhammad has given every reason to remember the name with an 8-fight unbeaten streak. Although not the flashiest of fighters, Muhammad is the definition of a grinder and is coming off consecutive wins over Damian Maia, Stephen Thompson and Vicente Luque. All that's left for Muhammad is that proper chance at the division's elite to prove his worth as a title challenger.
I'm the f***ing boogeyman.
First though, he must cement his top 5 status against an undefeated beast out of Philadelphia at UFC 281. Since entering the UFC in 2019, Sean Brady quietly mauled his way into the top 10 of the division.
14-0 for Sean Brady. He submits Jake Matthews in round 3.
Dominant wins over Jake Matthews and Michael Chiesa in his last 2 fights gave him the breakthrough he needed to start calling out the names above him. Muhammad is giving Brady that elusive chance, and the 2 grappling-heavy mixed martial artists will throw down with high stakes on the line in Abu Dhabi. Another undefeated fighter primed to challenge the cream of the welterweight crop is Khamzat Rakhmanov. Kazakhstan's Nomad is undefeated through 16 professional fights with a 100% finishing rate, most recently taking out Neal via submission in June. Although he doesn't have the same fanfare around him as someone like Chimaev, he is absolutely a looming shadow hanging above every welterweight's hopeful. An appealing matchup for Rakhmanov could be someone like Jeff Neal, who is fresh off the biggest win of his career over Vicente Luque. Hands of Steel responded well to back-to-back losses with consecutive wins over Santiago Ponzinibbio and Luque. So, the Texas native could vault himself into an advantageous place with a win over a bright prospect like Rakhmanov. Long considered one of the most talent-rich divisions, and certainly one of the hardest top 10s to break into, the division's ability to maintain that reputation despite a dominant champion like Usman is a testament to its depth. A bevy of welterweight contenders await the king who emerges from Salt Lake City on August 20. And each matchup that leads to the next man up is definitely must-see TV as well.